My words become things, all hail the king, now I got him walking on water. Covered in the blood of the Christ, a rubber glove and a knife. Prophet Muhammad came to restore the order. Spectators sit back and watch, slave ships pull off the dock. Demigods round up the flock, time running short, got a race against the hands of the clock. 2020 something, pull it off the lot. Posted on any block, do say a Henny shot. Pour a libation for the fallen, it's been a lot of death. Thefts, right over left, hard of a line right under my chest. That's a godlike, prolific, godlike. Money longer than sloth and ab, the fly tight. Meditation, slap boxing with Satan, cracking the
peace to the gods. Wings spread wide, coming through, angelic. Frankincense and myrrh be the essence, you can smell it. Rocking different color stones, niggas think I'm psychedelic. Asiatics can never be gods, let them tell it. Cosmetically groomed, suede blazer with suede shoes. Smooth, don't have to prove that I paid dues. My track record speaks for itself. You hear the language, the dignity you see me with now. Came in the game with, I hang with imperial nobles, wine Kenobis, light bodies, etherically mobile, spiritual OGs, riding around.
New era time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New era time. The truth defined, the seven chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New era time. A mastermind, take you up on the climb. You know the science, see the symbols and signs. New era time. It's all sublime, put it all in my rhymes. And if you seeking, then I know you gon' find. New era time. It's so divine, I put my life on the line. Allah made me so I'm built for the grind. New era time. The truth defined, the seven chakra in line. I feel we finally coming out of a bind. New era.
I want to say peace to all the Moors here. Peace, everybody. We playing some Moorish music right now. It's Saturday. Enjoy it. Everybody hit the like and share button. This is going to be an amazing interview. I think one of the things that we kind of take for granted about ourselves is the influence and impact that we have on the world. And one of the ways that we do it is through music. So what better than to play some Moorish music for you? We literally have some Moorish anthems on here. So make sure you like and share these videos. Go to the YouTube channels on here for these artists and make sure you subscribe, follow them, share the music. Also, like and share this video. And we're just going to get back into things. We're about to get started, Moors.
I shine like a Cuban link, that polo Snow Beach, the nine in the design of me. I'm wise like I designed a Sphinx, was born a righteous king, so rule from New York to Mozambique.
It's chapter 7, mind of an Asiatic, homie. Yo, see, any other time I wouldn't pay you any mind. Put my best foot forward in every verse and every line. I used to dream, I used to pray about the day that I get signed into the truth. About this business just blew my mind. I swear to God, I used to think all I needed was a skill, high verse, catchy hook, dope look, then get a deal. I used to love the rock a sold out show just for the thrill until the real was revealed to my spirit like Jabril. I'm iconic.
Yeah. All praise due to Allah, and honors to the last prophet in these days and times. That's true Ali, that's true Ali. 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 It ain't no question where these lessons are coming from. In North Mex, I'm still flexing, dancing to the drums. They going dumb like, bruh, we ain't think you come from out of heaven, throw up the 7, sliding through the slums. Go.
All right, Moors, you know how we do here. If you don't, this is Moors in America. If you're not subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button today. We're going to be talking to Sheik. C.J. Shaw L. This is going to be a dynamic conversation. You're going to love it. You're going to learn a lot. Make sure you hit like and share. Go to the description in this video and make sure you use those links in there for the brother Shaw L to reach out to him. Also to follow him on Facebook and other platforms he has in there. And we're going to go ahead and start things up. But first and foremost, I always rise giving the highest praise to the Most High, our Father God Allah. I extend honors to our divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, for bringing us our divine creed and nationality. We extend honors here also to the forerunner, our brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey, a modern day John the Baptist. And we extend honors to all the faithful, all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And also, I'm going to say we extend honors here to all light bringers out there watching right now, regardless of your creed, your background. And we also appreciate you all for hitting the like and share button, helping to help spread the light. So good afternoon, everybody listening to the True and Living Light Bringer, your brother, Lloyd Douglas, also known as Sharif Ali. You are here at Moors in America. Here we are uncovering and bringing glorious light, as we're doing on this broadcast right now, to all issues pertinent to the Moorish-American paradigm. This is definitely what we're going to discuss is important to the Moorish-American paradigm, because that's what we do here on this podcast known as Moors in America. Hopefully everybody's having a great afternoon. If you wouldn't mind, please share this broadcast on your favorite social media platform. We're going to go ahead and hit the intro and start things up. Don't go anywhere. Hit like, hit share. You're watching it on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you're watching it. Even if you're listening to the audio, share it. Share it everywhere. And, here we go.
I am not a Negro, black, colored, African American. I'm a Moorish-American. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on the right, 2 on the left, man. You know what time it is. Yo. We just Moors in America, soared through the shores and endured criminal acts of war on our character. 7 years after the 4th score, no reward. Shout out to the most courageous, they was jumping over barriers. Where does that compare to you? We come from a place where you scared to visit our area. We come from a place where it's scary for good Samaritans. Heavy luggage we carrying, babies having babies. It's crazy being American. Praise the one and only Allah, there's no comparison. La ilaha illa Allah, body and buried gin. Laughing at you clowns like ha-ha, dodging the Nephilim. Conquer lower self with the high, follow your regimen. Way before they came we were gods and now we specimen. Tried to take the light from our eyes, thank God for Edison. Then they put the wool on our eyes, it's so embarrassing. Now we travel frequently, we should invest in Sheraton. All of us got gold on our bodies whenever we stepping in. Screaming Ramadan, Mubarak, training the flesh again. Wishing we could move as a unit just like the Mexicans. Dodging all the foods with estrogen, synthetic medicines. All sin isn't devilish. Sometimes the decisions that you make come for a better gift. Sometimes when you sin is to relate to all your brethren. Heavenly gates all in our face, we the champions. We live in the sky, we see the angels on the chariots. Waiting on the $20 bill, face a Harriet. I bet you I'ma carry it. I'm in love with music to the point I wanna marry it. But my love for people is greater, so I write messages. Largest spending power, but we still sit at a deficit. Living amongst prejudice, even at our residence. Moors in America, flourishing, excellent. Let's buy up some neighborhoods and groom our own president. Yeah. And I come to you today with all intentions of spreading love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
All right, Islam. Peace to everybody that's here. We're starting things up. We have our brother C.J. Shaw L here. Just want to ask once again, everybody hit the like and share button. Don't go anywhere. It's on right now. All right, peace, everybody. Peace, peace. We have our brother Sheik C.J. Shaw L here on the broadcast with us now. We're going to be speaking about the current work being accomplished by the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress. For anyone who would like to know more about the Alliance, we do have another video here on this channel actually going into detail about the Alliance. So I'll pull that up on the channel just for people to see so that you have some kind of idea what I'm talking about. But as I said, we do actually have another video on here that's specifically just speaking about the Alliance. Also, we don't really have to take too much time explaining that. You can always go there. Hopefully you guys can see the screen right now. You can go to the Moors in America channel, also on Facebook, but we're on YouTube right now. You can just type, there's a little search there. You can just type Shaw or Shaw L, see what comes up, and there's the video discussing the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress. So you have that right here. We'll also link to that in the description if I'm able to. But if not, you can just go to the channel and just search for it, discussing the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress. And brother, it's an honor to have you on here, brother.
Praise the Lord, Islam, myself.
Please, Islam, brother. So please, for those who have not heard of the brother Shaw L, right, put some respect on your name, the Sheik Shaw L. Please, let us know more about you, brother.
I'm not really one to really talk much about myself, but first of all, I want to rise giving praise to Allah, or acknowledge that we're here for the intention of praising Allah, offering the due worship, thanksgiving, adoration, and praise to Allah, the Father of the universe, the rootless root and the causeless cause, from which all things have grown, to whom all things shall inevitably return. We want to make sure that it's very clear that our intention is to please Allah alone, and not man, not any individual or finite ideal. Our intentions alone are to please Allah, extend honors to His Prophet, Noble Jurali. And in that, extending honors to Prophet Noble Jurali, honoring all those things that the Prophet brought to the Moorish Americans, returned to the Moorish Americans, all those things that we once thought were lost from our flags, our flags, our fezzes, our turbans, our pins, our sashes, all those things that identify us culturally and nationally. Return to us the knowledge of who our ancestors were, which is who we are today. Return to us the knowledge of our forefathers' lands and the histories and actions that we've taken on those lands, and the relationships that we've developed with various nations as we've uplifted and fallen humanity and civilized the earth over generations and thousands of years. As we know, our flag is over 10,000 years old, so that speaks to civilization being at least over 10,000 years old, right, in our hands. We want to extend our honors, of course, to the Prophet's forerunner, Brother Marcus Messiah Garvey, who did indeed stir up my soul and prepare me to receive the truth and divine truth of His Prophet, Noble Jurali. I recall reading the works of Marcus Messiah Garvey and being stirred, knowing that we as a mighty race must come together and get up and accomplish what we will, knowing and reading and beginning to understand or developing the understanding that the highest ideal of all people is nationhood. again, in the instructions of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose birthday just passed, by the way. Islam, happy belated birthday to the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, whose birthday was just August 17th, if I'm not mistaken. We want to extend honors as well to all past and present leadership of the Moorish Science Temple of America, who have done their part, both in private and in public, both by night and by day, to keep the doors of the Moorish Science Temple of America open and to preserve the truth and the divine truth of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, that we might be here today to learn, study, know, and ultimately be the truth about ourselves. That we might be here today to strive to make progress in the way of Moorish-American culture, cultural heritage, and religious liberties, ultimately advancing and protecting and preserving the quality of life of our people, enhancing our experience here within the flesh as well, and paving the way to be able to develop our fullest experience spiritually. As we know, a beggar nation cannot attain to its highest degree of spirituality. And so we find ourselves often in a position wherein we're begging or making arguments just to be ourselves. And so we want to give honors again to all those who have left the legacy and the imprint and the information for us today to be able to find so easily through the internet, that they didn't have before. For us to be able to find it and research it and utilize it, as of course the advantage lies not just in having the good things, but knowing how to use them, right? Not just using them either, knowing how as well. We want to extend our honors again as well, also to all of the members, well-wishers, sympathizers, and friends who have encouraged us along the road over the years. It's been a slight little road. We want to extend our honors to all the Moors, well-wishers, sympathizers, and friends who have encouraged us and kept us going, and supported us in the progress of our people ultimately. Some things about myself. Like I said, I'm not really big on talking about myself. So much so that even when we set up this interview here, this conversation, you and I neglected to send you the music that's ultimately public. I make music as well, and so that's a thing. I'm just so not used to really talking about myself that I often even forget what to say. But I joined the Moorish Science Temple of America back in 2000. I say back in 2008. I was 22 years old when I actually joined the Moorish Science Temple of America. And that's, for those scientists out there, do your math. Islam, praise Allah. So just wanting to arrive at the truth about our people and the truth about spirituality separately, honestly. And having found them united in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America and the divine instructions of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, I immediately felt at home. Growing in the Moorish Science Temple of America, and networking with brothers and sisters around the country and, being privy to the divine instructions of the Prophet and knowing that he told us to get a good European education so that he could use us. After being, appointed to various stations of leadership within the movement, I began to make sure that I was, following the Prophet's instructions that way and taking the lessons out into society and assisting in the uplifting of fallen humanity, in a tangible way, if you will, or actually, if you will. Pardon me more. I was live on my Facebook, but I ended up making a mistake, forgive me. So yeah, just wanting to really impact the uplifting of fallen humanity in a tangible way. And actually, just some of the work that we were doing, just organizing, I ended up connecting with some organizers here in Chicago who asked that I help out with a transitional living program for our high school. I was writing some programs at that time for different organizations and things. And so I did that. And then maybe a year or so later, they asked me to come aboard as a mentor and truancy officer. And so I began to do that work as a mentor and truancy officer and took the paraprofessional educator's license test. Ultimately, it's a really quick test. It's kind of like a GED test. And from then was asked, well, the reason why I took the test is because I was, told that, basically they were wanted me to do one of the programs I was doing in the evening during the school day. I was doing a civic education program in the evening and wanted me to do it during the school day. So took that and started, working in the social studies department on the civics class at the end of the day, and working to educate young people about civic processes, getting people elected to office, petitioning, poll working, things of that nature. And from there, I was asked to come to another school and then take another role as resource coordinator. And then from there, I transitioned to another school as the dean. It was actually a charter school system as their dean of 3 elementary schools by the grace of Allah. And around that time, we were also in the temple. We were also working to ensure that Moors didn't have burdens to celebrating our various, holy days and things. We had a letter that we sent out that we gave to members so that they could give to their employers or their schools or other institutions when they would need days off to celebrate their holy days ultimately. Fridays or any other days that the Prophet established as days of commemoration for our people. And it was in that work that led us to working with Alderman Rod Sawyer, who supported a proclamation for us in the city of Chicago City Council to designate January 8th as Noble Drew Ali Day, the 15th as Moorish-American New Year's Day, and that week as Moorish-American Week. And it was on the heels of that we were able to just push for ultimately more support and recognition for protecting the cultural heritage of Moorish Americans here in Chicago. Not long around that same time, I was appointed Grand Governor, so my scope kind of expanded outside of the city, which caused me to look toward legislative efforts as opposed to ordinances, which the city does, the state does legislation. And that's when we worked to get the first proclamation in the city of Chicago, in the state of Illinois, through House Resolution 0930 to designate August as Moorish American Awareness Month. And it was on the heels of that proclamation or resolution that we wrote a series of other bills, which I hope to discuss with you further here. It was on the heels of that resolution that we wrote House bills or co-authored House bills 3083, which is a bill to make an exemption for religious adherence in the name change process.
Brother, can I get you to pause right there?
Yeah.
Now you're just about that bill for in regards to the name change process. Can you explain just for the layman what that means?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of your statement. I just heard.
Okay, yeah. Part itself. So in regards to the bill, the legislation in regards to the name change process,
Mhm.
right? And I get I'm assuming like in Cook County or Illinois, what are the details? Like what does that entail? What does that mean?
Islam. So the name change process, quote unquote, in Illinois, which is similar to the name change process around the country, what we've learned. There are not many states who have a different process. Most of them have a similar process, where ultimately you have to go to the county court wherein you reside and file a petition. File a petition to change your name, and you have to pay a fee, post a public notice in the newspaper or in some newspaper, wait for your case to be called or your petition to be called, and the judge looks over whatever stipulations have been determined in that state. Typically that you're not going through any bankruptcy, fleeing any felonious accusation, or have any child endangerment charges or things of that nature. And then they will typically grant your petition, so long as you're not, within any of those barriers. Or in Illinois, for example, for a time, you had to be out of prison and or your parole for a certain amount of time. I think it was 10 years. That has been amended already. That's been changed. You no longer have to wait 10 years. You can do it regardless as long as you've been out of your parole. But all of those prescriptions, all of those requirements are ultimately additional steps to the expression and exercise of a key component of our religion. As Moorish Americans, when you join the Moorish Science Temple of America, you're given the Il or Bay, which realigns you with one of our forefathers' tribes, Islam, and our nation of Moorish Americans. And at that point, you're instructed to live your life and use that name, do all business in that name, and so on. Live your life according to the laws and divine instructions of Prophet Noble Drew. There should be, according to the Constitution, there can be no additional steps, requirements, or prescriptions imposed by any governmental entity outside of your religion on any component of the expression or exercise of your religion. Any additional steps make those components no longer free. They're no longer unencumbered. They've now have been tied down to these additional steps from outside of your faith stream. And that's the premise behind House Bill 3083, to remove the additional steps imposed by the state on religious adherents to changing their names. And so yeah, there's more to discuss around that, but that's the gist of it. And I mean, I'd like to go into it more, but that's the gist of it.
All right, gratitude for speaking about that, brother. And I did cut you off earlier while you were mentioning some of the other legislation that you're working on with the alliance. So I didn't want to like take you from your train of thought. Could you please embellish more? Just let us know what's going on.
Oh, no problem. I'm not even certain. Oh, so we mentioned House Bill 3083, again, which is the name change exemption bill. That's currently on the floor of the House of Reps in Illinois, the part of 103rd, 104th Assembly. Then there is House Bill 3422. House Bill 3422. House Bill 3422 is the bill to designate August as Moorish-American Awareness Month in the state of Illinois. And that would make it perpetual and no longer something that has to be done yearly. It would amend the Commemorative Dates Act to add August as a celebratory period in the state of Illinois, a period of acknowledgement in the state of Illinois, which would ultimately make the way for all other government agencies and entities, programs that receive state funding to acknowledge and include Moorish American awareness in their various celebratory or awareness activities. Whereas I'm not, you may or may not be aware, but everything that's done, every single thing, you have to be aware of every single thing. There's not one thing that could possibly be done by the government, any level of government, without the use of taxpayer funds. That's how the government runs. It's through taxpayer funds. And so taxpayer funds also provides for governments to support varying commemorative periods and celebratory periods and cultural heritage periods and things of that nature. Largely, we don't see a whole lot of our periods being acknowledged or magnified. But I think that's largely because we as a people have not in the past made so much of a priority of collaborating with units of government so that they can acknowledge our people and our culture in the same ways that they acknowledge others. And so that's where Awareness Month it comes in at. Through Awareness Month this year, we've actually partnered, and I'd like to touch on this piece a little bit later too. We've partnered with the Illinois Office of Equity to co-facilitate a roundtable discussion on the conditions of equity and support state agencies on developing an understanding of their condition of equity as it relates to Moorish Americans and how that can be advanced. We've got this meeting coming up with the Illinois Office of Equity, and we have several units of government aligned or at least signed up to, partner or at least join and be a part of that conversation from the federal, state, and local sides. Several city agencies and departments, the FBI has reached out in support and interest. We don't have a DOJ office in Chicago, so they are reaching out to the U.S. Attorney's Office to have them on board. Let's see. Also, the third bill we have is House Bill 3766. House Bill 3766 is a bill to create the Illinois Moorish-American Family Commission. The Illinois Moorish-American Family Commission would operate like other family commissions in advising the governor and legislative assembly or general assembly, as well as all state agencies, on the design and implementation of any and all policies that would impact Moorish Americans. And ultimately, what has to be understood, or at least what should be understood, what needs to be understood, is that any and all public policy affects the entirety of the public. And so, since we as Moorish Americans have to engage, or we are, equally a part of the public as well. I know a lot of Moors like to do a whole public and private thing, but you drive down public streets. Your children probably go to public schools right now. If your house catches on fire, you'll call that public fire department. You know what I mean? Hospitals, all these things are provided by public taxpayer funds. And so we need to, or at least it would be beneficial for us. It would behoove us as a people to better understand our place within the system of what's called government, and how to utilize the portions of government that extend from and to us. So that being said, after I wrote the legislation, I was brought into the state rep's office to work as his district office representative. Well, I guess I can kind of backtrack a bit. What led to writing the legislations? I've worked on the political side of government for about maybe 12 years now. About 12 years now, yeah. But 12 years now, yep, 12 years. So some of the first people I worked with were Larry Dominic for town president of Cicero, helped him get reelected. Andre Ashmore of Matson, and this was back in 2012 and 13. Toy Hutchinson, Robin Kelly, Congress. Let's see, and this is all back in like the earlier, 2013, 14 days, 12, 13, 14. And so I've worked on the political side of government, not government, but political, on politics, campaigns and things of that nature. I worked with Secretary of State on their Click It or Ticket campaign. People in Illinois probably are very familiar with that Click It or Ticket, that campaign. I worked on that campaign, passing out clickers and all kind of stuff, making people aware of the upcoming changes to the laws that ultimately, if you don't wear your seatbelt, they can ticket you. and they were real big on that at that time. But anyway, yeah, so my work in politics led me to working for the candidate who ended up sponsoring our legislation, State Representative Justin Slaughter, who ended up kind of, taking a liking to my approach to campaigning and things of that nature. And he wanted to spend a bit more time in close quarters with me around that. Leveraging that time around each other, I made clear to him the plight of our people. I did my best to make clear to him the plight of our people, and some strategies that we were considering, or we thought, or we from our perspective saw as useful and legitimate, legal, constitutional. And we shared those with him, and ultimately he said, I'm beginning to see what you're saying. I can't quite convey it, but I think I understand. And so with that being said, he asked us to draft some legislation to speak to what we were saying, and we did. And that's where the legislation came from. And then about a year or so after that is when the state rep asked me to come into the office on the government side. And so now, at that point, he brought me on as the district office representative, continuing to build relationships and represent the office wherein he's not able to be represented around the district. And today, by the grace of Allah, I'm now the community affairs manager for the office. And which, again, this is why I circle back to this. In my role as community affairs manager, I support community organizations in their efforts toward progress, developing their programs, advancing their organizations, connecting to resources that exist for organizations through the state. And so it's really been an honor and a blessing to be in this position to now be able to support our community, support Moorish Americans who are also, just seeking to understand how to better restore that relationship that our prophet once had in this, wheel to wheel that we exist in. Wheel within a wheel that we exist in. And so I don't really want to wax too much about myself, but I also worked as State Rep Sonia Harper up until last January. I was also her constituent outreach coordinator and co-chair of her faith-based and educational advisory committees. So I've had some experience. Oh, I'm also in school for political science and government, the University of Arizona, and I also make Moorish-American hip hop music. Yeah. And so those are those things.
Gratitude, yeah, definitely gratitude for adding more understanding to what you're doing. I do have a question. There's a couple of questions in the chat, but we can get to that in a second. But just one thing. So you spoke about working with the Illinois Office of Equity, right? To co-facilitate this roundtable discussion, focusing on Moorish American diversity. So could you speak about that and give us an idea of like the type of the goals, like what this could accomplish and what you're working on through working with this government office?
Islam, yeah. So ultimately, I apologize more. I apologize to the audience as well. So ultimately, the Illinois Office of Equity was established by Governor J.B. Pritzker, I think last year, through executive order. I had the executive order. I got it away the other day, actually. Was established by executive order last year, I think it was, or 2 years ago, to facilitate the state's diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility plan, to identify marginalized communities and policies that may cause barriers or be obstructive to marginalized communities. And when we say marginalized communities, what we're referring to is, if you consider, right, if you're looking at a piece of paper, right, y'all, right, so we look at a piece of paper, and we got, everything that's written in the regular part where we're reading, right, and then the margins, right, right. So what this kind of symbolizes is that certain communities are not centered or focused on often. We hear a lot about many communities, but we don't actually often hear about Moorish Americans. The Democratic National Convention just closed. The Republican National Convention was a month ago. The Green Party Convention was, I think, a few months ago. I don't think we heard the phrase Moorish American in any of them. So that would have meant that we weren't centered, right? We weren't a focus, right? But we still exist. And so we may be mentioned by someone, and some people may have mentioned us in some circles, but not in a centered way. So we would have been kind of mentioned marginally, right? And so we're like, so that would make us a marginalized community. And so marginalized communities, if you will, communities that are not centered, there's often a lot of stigma around them, misunderstandings that exist about them. And they're not often considered when it comes to public policy. But the government has a responsibility to issue policy for the entirety of the public, even the marginalized public. The government has a responsibility to make sure that everyone has equal and, at this point, equitable access to public accommodations. So anything that's funded by public money. And so when we consider the various ways in which our people might have like different experiences utilizing public accommodations simply because of our cultural heritage or our faith, those are areas wherein we want to shine light, magnify, bring awareness to, and work with the various agencies and policymakers who are maintaining these particular policies or overseeing or directing these agencies. We want to collaborate with them so that they can adjust those policies to where they're not burdensome or barriers to Moorish Americans also gaining access to them without having to also consider if we're going to be violating our faith and risking our salvation. I hope I wasn't rambling. I hope that was clear.
No, that makes sense. What you're explaining just about the government actually having systems in place to ensure that everybody, get a share, right? All the different communities that make up America. And I just think I know within the so-called African American community, right? Moorish Americans, um, there's a mentality of skepticism, based off of past transgressions, past situations where people do not trust that the government is here to equally, ensure, equal access to, resources, right? And so there's a lot of people, even Moorish Americans, who know that they're Moorish Americans, that still have that skepticism, right? But you have to remember that, just to add to what you're saying, right? Chicago's extremely diverse. I'm in Columbus, Ohio. We have people here. We have a large Somalian community here, large Ethiopian, Eritrean community here. And then there's people here from Russia and Dominican Republic, Haiti, all of that. And so they get representatives, they get resources for their communities, right? Where they can have their own community center, where they can have, the things they need so that they can succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, just to add to what you're saying, like part of being Moorish American is changing our mentality to understand that we can get everything we need too. We just have to move as a collective, as the brothers working to do, to get the things to secure what we need for ourselves. And so I'm, thankful to you for doing the work and for, coming on here to explain what you're doing. Now, there are some questions.
Before we shift gears, I just want to touch on something that you mentioned. The disconnect of quote unquote, you said something to the effect of like a distrust of government, right? Something like that, right?
Yes,
or skepticism or something of that nature.
definitely, yes.
What we we ultimately need to develop an understanding of, or at least it would be beneficial for us to understand, is in the knowing of ourselves, right? In the know thyself, right? Knowing what government is. Like the prophet tells us, I believe it's in the divine warning to the nations, where he says that the wealth of the nation, the gold and silver, belong to its citizens, right? And I'm paraphrasing the prophet. But what he's informing us is that governments, or at least this government, this style of government that we have, that exists here, is a government made up of the people. So to say you distrust government means you distrust yourself ultimately. Because the individuals who run and operate government are not machines. They're not computers who are pre-programmed to not do for you. These are our neighbors. These are the people at the light. These are our cousins. Like, these are regular, everyday people who breathe and bleed just like us. They are in the positions they are in because others of us came together and selected them. In this country, it requires a majority vote on local politics. And local politics, that majority lends up to the electoral college so that everyone is fairly represented on the federal level. We'll do another podcast about the electoral college and federalism, inshallah. But what we need to understand, what the point I'm striving to make, is that the government exists through our tax dollars and through our votes and through our willingness to fight its wars. Right? That we are the government. Each of us are a part and a partial of it. Similarly, as Moorish Americans, the prophet in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we as members learn that we are a part and a partial. So similarly, as citizens, you are a part and a partial. And so we have to develop the understanding of how to make government move on our behalf. Like you said, other communities have organized themselves to exact the resources they need to thrive. Once upon a time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali organized our people in the same capacity, if not much more. Prophet Noble Drew Ali nominated a federal congressman, 2 state representatives, an alderman, commerce commissioner, was involved with the gubernatorial election, was brought down to the governor's office on a special train during the inauguration. Missives like all registering and political slavery speak to the perspectives and the divine instructions and the footprints left clearly cut by Prophet Noble Drew Ali as it relates to our relationship with government and voting and utilizing elected officials and government agencies and offices. That's how I got to the perspective I'm at. Looking at who the prophet dealt with and what were their capacities. That lets me know what he could have possibly been interested in doing with them. What do those offices do? What are those offices established for? Prophet tells me to enforce the Constitution. Well, what do those things have to do with the Constitution?
Islam, and just to add to what you're saying, the prophet was doing this work in the Jim Crow era,
Before the Jim Crow era.
yeah. So, I mean, it wasn't. I mean, he demonstrated it, that it could be done in the early 1900s, 1920s. There's nothing stopping us now.
Agreed.
There's absolutely nothing stopping us, right? But which I'm glad that you're doing we have to educate our people about the process. We have to. That skepticism is there. We understand why it's there. We know what's occurred in the past with the red summers and things of that nature. We know why it's there. It's not like it's not there for a reason. We understand why it's there. We have to educate the people now on how to undo the situation and to be successful. So yeah, there are some questions in the chat. I see sister says Diamond Unique. She was asking, I'm assuming she's located in Michigan. So she's looks like she's asking about the work that you're doing in Illinois and asking, how she can apply that to Michigan. What about Michigan and other states?
May Allah be pleased. Islam Moors all over the country, all my brothers and sisters all over the country. Islam to you all. So in regard to other states, so we're working with some brothers and sisters in Michigan, to be clear. Also, I didn't mention the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress, really, in the introduction of myself. The Alliance for Moorish-American Progress is a national think tank and action network that we established some years ago, myself and a handful of Moors from different groups of Moors, who were ultimately, kind of fed up with the whole perspective that you can only work with Moors within your grand body type of thing. Many of your more progressive Moors of today were members of the original Alliance for Moorish-American Progress by the grace of Allah. Islam and honors to all the Moors everywhere doing beautiful progressive things on behalf of the Moorish Americans. But the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress as a think tank and action network is multifaceted. We have agenda items and or goal and objective items that include holistic healthcare and sustainable agricultural practices, community development, civic education and engagement, small business and entrepreneurship development, cultural heritage advocacy, and education as well, as a research and education, and a number of others, key components. And this particular effort of the legislative nature is an objective of the Civic Education and Engagement Subcommittee that's focused on that work. It's something that I champion as I work in civic education and engagement, and so it's just something that I've championed. But to be clear, the alliance is a national alliance. It's a national alliance. It's a national think tank and action network with state chapters in every state, or at least the ability to extend a state chapter to every state. And within those state chapters, there are local municipal branches that can be established in every municipality. So that would be, every city, every county, every school district even can have a local alliance focused on the work there. Local library district, can be focused on the work there. A local fire district, you understand? It's established to be somewhat all-encompassing as far as our civic engagement and quality of life development. It's not a religious organization whatsoever. We don't hold holy day meetings or Sunday school classes, to be clear. We will support in making and assisting temples in getting space for their holy day meetings and Sunday school classes, and any other ways in which we can support any Moorish Science Temple of America in preserving the cultural heritage of Moorish Americans and the religious liberties of Moorish Americans, which is ultimately following the divine instruction of Prophet Noble Drew. That's what we're established to do. So as it relates to other states outside of Illinois, Michigan in particular, we've got a few Moors in Michigan who have tapped into the alliance. The goal is for everyone to have at least 7 members. I think it's 7 to 10 members to have, or it might be 15 members, I'm sorry, for a chapter, 7 members for a branch. But until then, you would just grow and develop the membership that you have. You got 2 or 3 people who are interested, y'all come together. and we'll work with you on developing your strength and putting together programs and engagements that would build awareness for your chapter or branch so that you can grow stronger and do the work that you need to do. We have templates that we're providing to Moorish Americans, and these can be used all over the country, wherein basically you take the legislation that we already have, and we've got a letter, ultimately a template, a templated letter. You're going to send a letter to your local elected officials. So again, I've got to back up a bit. So the general membership of the Alliance has a foundational civic floor, if you will. All the new allies receive a foundational civic floor training that makes sure that they're aware of who all their elected officials are, from president down to like library district. It's, by the grace of God, by the grace of Allah, it's really amazing. And it's not lengthy either. It's fairly simple. It shows you how to ascertain these things and this information. And once you have, along with other things, making sure that you're registered to vote, know where you vote, things of that nature. Once you have, then we'll give you a templated email that you'll send out to certain elected officials. Those particular elected officials, this email will basically read, introducing yourself as a Moorish American, and that you experience certain burdens to your religious liberties and cultural heritage, and that you're aware that other Moorish Americans in the state of Illinois have collaborated with a particular state representative to submit a bill to alleviate those burdens and barriers, and you'd like your particular elected official to support you in doing the same. The email will request a meeting and a follow up, and it'll include our information as well as the state rep who sponsored the bill here in Illinois, as we are open to collaborating with other state representatives and not just state representatives, local, city, village, federal, etc. Elected officials in crafting and submitting legislation of a similar nature. And so ultimately that's what the letter would say or says, that we're open to setting up a meeting to assist them in any way they need, et cetera, et cetera. And this is not something that's not normally done. This is something that's normally done. We have legislative conferences all the time. In fact, I'm considering coming to the CBC Legislative Conference September 11th through 14th, where people from all over the country, legislators from all over the country and advisors and collaborators from all over the country will be in town discussing legislation for the coming legislative session. And so again, we collaborate with legislators from around the country all the time. And so again, that's what that letter would do. It would request a meeting and or their feedback on their support. They may want a meeting to get more information. They may just say, hey, okay, we see what Illinois did. We're taking it lock, stock, and barrel and going to just go ahead and submit it right to our legislative house. And they'll let you know when they have. And then from that point, we assist you in doing the work to organize the community to support the passage of your legislation. Also, there's some templates for phone calls and things of that nature too, but it's all, we have a structure that we're offering to more as a workshop that we're offering to members and supporters of the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress. They're both considered allies. So, and institutions, members of institutions who support the Alliance as well.
Islam. So gratitude for speaking about that. So for the sister in Michigan, hopefully you're still on here. Reach out to the brother. His info is in the video description, or you could go to the YouTube video too to get that info.
Yeah, you can.
And also,
real brief, I'll just mention Moorish-AmericanProgress.org is our website. It's currently under construction, but a lot of information is available. The pictures were just pulled by our designer from off of several of our pages, so y'all gonna see a lot of old pictures from back in the day. Praise Allah for all those engagements. But you can receive a lot of the information around the organization, how to join the organization or support the movement, the Alliance. There, we'll also be updating it with access to the trainings and things of that nature also on the site as well. And to be clear, we only ask for supporters to subscribe for $1 per year, at least $1. You can subscribe for more than that as a supporter, but we only ask for $1. And what that also means is anyone who has ever donated at least $1, we consider a supporter. We consider them a sympathizer. you know. If you can contribute, I believe it's $10 or $25. Those are well wishers and friends of the organization or friends of Moorish Americans are asked to contribute $50. Full allies, members, Moorish Americans themselves, and Moorish Americans can also just be supporters. You know, I'll pay you $1 for many people. I tell people that all the time. Look, I'll pay you $1. You know what I mean? Just get on the email thread, get on the email blast so that you're updated on what's going on, and what's available, the resources that are available. And the surveys and things of that nature, so that we know how to move. You know, we're not striving to do anything just based on, oh, we think this is cool. We've always, even every bit of legislation we've ever written or submitted, at least, we've held a number of meetings with other leaders and members to assess their perspectives on how we should do whatever it is that we're doing for the people. So
Islam. Yeah. So gratitude for speaking about that. Once again, for the people in other states, well, even in Illinois, reach out to the brother. The information's there in the chat. For us locally,
Moorish-AmericanProgress.org, Moorish-AmericanProgress.org, or the Facebook, the Alliance for Moorish American Progress.
Islam, and for us locally, Columbus Temple 30. Anyone would like to take the lead on is working with the alliance for us locally, let me know, or just reach out to the brother. But otherwise, still let me know, so that we can get things going too, in alliance with the brothers, and to start to set this up where we're at as well. We all want to work, to actually get laws and ordinances, things like of that nature passed locally where we're at. That's really what everybody needs to be doing right now, because nobody else is going to do it for you. If you're looking around, it's not going to happen. If you even are concerned, that means that you have to do something about it. I think you have to take action, right?
Also, I'd like to remind the Moors wherein we have the missive or the written message. That's what the missive is when I keep saying missive. Wherein we have the missive that the prophet won't make a law that's at variance to any city or local laws wherein he makes a law, something of that nature. You recall, I'm paraphrasing, but where the prophet reminds us about him making laws,
Yes.
but them not being at variance to the laws wherein he's making laws. These measures are how we as a community are able to exact what the prophet said we can do. This is how we're able to make laws within communities and have them respected, appreciated, and understood by the other governmental agencies that are making laws as well. This is how we're able to let them know, hey, well, listen, the prophet said Friday is, that's what, it's our holy day of rest. And so we've got to attend that meeting. That's not a law we made. That's a law he made, But similarly, we see the prophet said we can make laws in conjunction with his laws. So if he said that his birthday is a day of celebration, then that means if we want to make a law and or custom that we don't work that day because it's a holy day for us, then that's a law that we can make in conjunction, inform the government that exists or the other governmental agencies about that, and then the necessary exemptions or amendments can be prescribed. Again, what we're discussing here today, the name change bill. The prophet told us, with us, all members must proclaim. He established how you come to the temple. Let the secretary know. They put your name on the book. 1 month's dues is paid. For everybody watching, there is no 500,000, 150. There is no whole packet. There is no whole bunch of money to be paid. Nationality is free all over the world, not just here, but everywhere. Is to proclaim your nationality. One must join, or as a Moorish American, one must join the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let the secretary know that this is your intention. The secretary puts your name on the book. You pay 1 month's dues, and you receive your button, your pen, your card, your dues card, your per capita card, your emergency fund card, all of these documents that bear witness to your being a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Divine National Movement, and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's Moorish-American Nation, Islam. And it's from there that we're able to exist and communicate our existence to the governments in which we live. And as long as we're in conjunction with the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, it's been our experience that under Intelligent Tone, amendments and exemptions are the standard.
All right, Islam, gratitude for saying that, brother. And what that means too for the knuckleheads out there, for the people who think you have to go out there and file proclamations and fight the fight on your own, for whatever it is that you're trying to do. It's like, well, if you have that energy, why not put it towards working with actual real Moors in your city, town, and state, to get laws made for your city or county or even at the state level across the board for all the Moors, right? Stop being selfish. Actually be responsible. Step up. Let's get the work done. Let's get legislation passed. That's what everyone else is doing. We're seeing this with people who are coming over here, from other countries, and that's what they're doing, you know?
To, I'd like to add, brother, that again, I can't stress enough that every single thing we experience is determined by legislation, by policy, by ordinance, which is allowed by legislation. Every the types of vehicles we drive, the foods we eat, the programs we watch, the clothes we wear, the materials that are made, that are used in these things, the ways in which we're able to experience these things are described, allowed or not allowed, prohibited by legislation or ordinances or policies that can be amended and exempted if they burden your religious liberties or your religious requirements, so long as they do not diminish what's called the compelling governmental interest. And so the government has a compelling interest to protect the entirety of the society, the general welfare of the people, the government, right, of the people. And so again, so long as your religion does not infringe on the general welfare of the people and or compelling governmental interest, then the government actually has a requirement to look for, try to find an accommodation. And this is not just me speaking. There is a memorandum. Maybe if we can show it, I don't know if that's something you want to do. I'll pull it up. But it's a memorandum on religious liberties that was issued under President Donald Trump, and he ordered the Department of Justice to issue guidance to governmental agencies as it relates to religious liberties. And the premise, the foundational principle, is that religious liberties is a founding principle of this country, and that citizens do not give up their religious liberties by interacting with government agencies or government funded agencies. That religious liberties supersede these things. And so again, as I mentioned before, where a government agency is made aware that its policies are violative or obstructive or barriers or burdensome to what is supposed to be constitutionally supposed to be free practice, right? Free expression, free exercise. Those agencies and officers must seek to make an accommodation. And so my effort, again, like you said, brother, is to be largely sweeping in the changes that we make so that the entire community benefits. And so the burdens that I attack are legislative, policy burdens, things of that nature, to where the entirety of our community can be accommodated, exempted, or those policies can be amended, not just for us, but other adherents to their faith. As divine law supreme. Yeah.
All right, gratitude, brother, and thank you for speaking on that. And so we have the tools necessary to do what we feel is important. Or if you feel there's a problem, you don't agree with the way things are, you can do something about it. Everybody probably sees the sometimes when you're in the store, you'll see I think it'll say like Proposition 65 or something, and it'll have a little thing talking about it can't be sold in California because it's got cancer causing elements in it, right? And the reason you'll see that is because, and it could be anything. I've seen it on steering wheel covers, all types of stuff. And what you're seeing is this product is being sold in the stores, right? California don't allow that mess. They're like, look, some of the stuff that's in here, we found this stuff to be harmful to humans. And why is it that they don't sell it in California, but everywhere else it flies? Because, as the brother said, the people there, whoever they were, that didn't want that stuff going into their system said no. All right. There's countries, other countries in the world that are like that too. Like the stuff that we eat, the stuff that we allow to be in our water supply, they don't allow any of that mess. So even at the state level, that can be accomplished. And so, we can participate and get this done. It's real, it's possible. Forget being skeptical and fearful and having a victim mentality. We can do this. So this is what the brother's speaking on, man. No weakness, no fear, no victim mentality. It's all about let's do it. Everybody else is doing it. We can do it too. This is how you get it done.
Absolutely. Yeah, California, you mentioned the different environmental protection propositions. California is a big green state. There's a big presence of the Green Party there, And so, like you said, some things may not be all encompassing across the country, but you can get some things done locally and, begin to magnify the issue, and so here we are. I'm in Illinois, you're in Ohio, talking about environmental protections that exist in California that we don't have here that now we might want to apply some energy to and focus on. You know what I mean? Now, hey, look, we want the same protections that they have there, So, it's absolutely, extremely feasible for us to make progress as a people for our people.
All right, gratitude, brother. And just want to thank you again, for having the patience to come on here and talk and knowing that we have to teach, man, because we're taught to think the opposite and in many ways just to have a victim mentality and just to give up, right?
Yeah.
So, you're taking action. A lot of people you hear people saying, well, the active Moors, and they're thinking the active Moors are the ones that are doing this little individual paperwork that's not really accomplishing anything for anyone, right? But we already have everything that we need. I mean, even just in the religious legislation that was passed, like you said, with President Trump, we have everything we need, even just in there, because he was just talking about the stuff that's in the Constitution that protects everybody.
Yeah.
If you exercise it, right? So this is beautiful. I love seeing Moors that are active, that are working. That's why you're on here, brother. I wanted you to have the opportunity just to come on here and share what you're doing, and also to let people know how they could participate with you. Before we really close things out, I mean, there's some things that we would need to go more in depth on. Some things that you just mentioned in brief. But before we go into the closing, is there anything in particular that you would like to speak on, that you would like, just to get the word out there about?
Yeah. So especially the upcoming roundtable discussion with the Illinois Office of Equity. That's a very important program, an opportunity for us to express clearly where burdens and barriers exist to the free exercise of our cultural heritage experience and religious liberties experience. And so what I mean by that is I, as an individual, can't hold a roundtable discussion for all of us. I'm one man, right? I can't speak from a experiential place as being a woman, a mother, a father, even a husband, a wife, a daughter. All these different experiences. A senior, a young Moor. Well, I mean, I was a young Moor for a little while, but what I'm saying is all these different experiences include the experience of barriers to their experience. And so we need for each individual to be able to communicate clearly to the various agencies and levels of government where they've been burdened, where their cultural heritage is being infringed upon, where their religious liberties are being infringed upon, so that we can communicate clearly again, as a Moorish-American mother. These are places and ways wherein Moors are experiencing difficulty in expressing their cultural heritage and their religious liberties. As a Moorish-American father, as a Moorish-American son and daughter, and business person, and educator, and construction worker, and vegan, and like all these different experiences that exist, we want to be able to highlight wherever there are burdens so that we can highlight the variousness, the vastness, the different natures of the burdens that we experience as a community, so that we can address them properly. So again, that first roundtable discussion is scheduled for September during the convention periods. We've not locked down a date because I'm waiting to hear back from the convention leaders of the September period. We want to make sure that we schedule the roundtable discussion at a period that's not interfering with their convention schedules. We know the Moors have internal business to take care of, but we want to also make this something that's available to the Moors to participate in as well. And so that meeting, again, we're waiting to hear back from, I believe, Brother E. Braswell Bay, Brother R. Jones Bay, and the groups that have come through Brother Brother D. Bailey Ill, and those groups, and they all have conventions in September. Of course, we're not locking out the Moors who have convention in October. We're just wanting to have this roundtable discussion sooner than later, because behind September, we've got veto session, then the election in November, and then lame duck session, and then we'll be going into the new session. And so it's a timely matter. I also want to make clear too, because we sent out some letters and emails about this stuff a couple months ago. We were going to do it in August, but the community has simply not organized itself to be able to present a unified expression. And we want to make sure that we do that at these types of meetings. We want to allow everyone the space to express themselves transparently and openly, but we want to make sure that the Moors are on one accord, if you understand. And so again, we want to make clear, I want to mention too, share this with your leaders. The Alliance for Moorish-American Progress has made provisions to assist Moors in coming into town for this discussion. If we need to assist you with lodging, hotel stay, airfare, etc., we're prepared to do that. We're not prepared to pay the whole thing for everybody, but we are prepared to assist Moors getting into town for the roundtable discussion. Also, something that we're working on that I'd like to mention before we close out. The city of Chicago has its own ID called the City Key. And one of the participants at the discussion will be the City of Chicago City Key Department within the city clerk's office. Speaking with them yesterday, they're interested in seeing if it's possible for the City Key Department to host a session wherein they would make IDs, make City Key IDs for Moorish Americans that would have our ills and bays on them. And that would be an individual session, that's established, a one-off session that would be held at one location where Moors would be able to come and get that done, and then we may do it on a frequency thereafter. But that's something that's currently being discussed. Literally had this conversation just yesterday. And so I want to just let Moors know that the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress is, working to actually come together and think through our issues and act on them and push the line forward for real progress. And of course, where there's unity, there's strength. Um, all hands on deck. Let's grab this gospel plow and let's go.
Islam. So when you're speaking about like the city key ID, for example, is that open to all Moorish Americans or just people who residents of Chicago?
So actually, the city key ID is only open to residents of the city of Chicago.
Okay, Islam. And then about the round table. So is there a venue and
Also, I'm
what's
sorry.
the capacity? Sorry.
Also, no, thank you. Let me also make clear too. Um, for example, different townships have their own ID as well. We've also communicated with, I can't remember what township Maywood is in, but one of the council members in Maywood also sits on the township board, if you will. Their township has, I think it's Proviso. They have an ID as well, and so they are also in discussions of creating pathways for Moorish Americans to be able to get their ills and bays and correct demographic markers on their village ID in Maywood as well. So that's more local. That's a more localized effort. Often localized efforts are easier to put forward because there are less legislators to engage and also less voters to engage and develop support for. Smaller localized efforts are oftentimes the ways in which we get the larger governments, the states and the counties and the federal governments to see, oh, okay, a couple of my cities have done this or a couple of my counties have done this. Well, then obviously the people in my state or higher government, obviously the people within us want this. So it makes more sense for the upper level of government to move on behalf, and since the lower levels have gone that way, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah, Islam. And one other thing too about the roundtable discussion. So what's the venue? Is there a venue and what's the capacity?
We're looking at the Dusable Museum. The original discussion was planned for the Dusable Museum, and so that's more than likely where we'll go back to, where we'll go take it back to. I believe capacity was 200, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and so but the beauty of the Dusable though is that if we need to add overflow space, we can. Um, but at present, it ultimately depends on the response of the Moorish Americans. If this looks like something that Moors are going to really attend and throw their support and interest behind, um, then of course we'll make sure that there's overflow space. It'll cost us a little bit more, but we're prepared to do that. By the grace of Allah, we've got a few philanthropists who have taken notice of our work and are adamant about supporting us to succeed.
Islam, beautiful, brother. I'd love to hear that. Now, are there any fees for participating in the roundtable discussion?
No, none amount is full.
And it's for those that don't know, it's September 15th through the 20th. So you were speaking about like I guess the timing. How's do you are the meetings going to be in the morning or in the evening? Like for those who do go to a convention at that same time?
It'll be one roundtable discussion, tentatively in the afternoon, like 12 to 4ish type
Okay,
of time,
Islam.
because we want to again make allow for the Moors, the sheiks and adepts to take care of the internal business, which is typically done before noon usually. But then of course we know that many Moors are also still taking care of business up until their public meeting period. But then at public meeting period, Moors are attending their public meeting, and we don't want to interfere with anything at all. So we're looking to hear back from the big three, if you will, who hold conventions in September to let us know what's most convenient for them, and we want to hold it around that. And so again, if you are a member of the groups of Moors led by Brother R. Jones Bay, Brother E. Braswell Bay, or the remnants of Brother D. Baby Ill, then please, by all means, let us, get them on board and let them know to let us know what would be most conducive for you Moors to attend.
Islam, brother. Now, one, I believe this is the last question about the round table. Would it be open? Like, will you be streaming it for people who aren't able to physically make it to Chicago?
Absolutely.
Okay, so if people do want to participate but they can't make it, what do they need to do? I'm
Sign
really
up.
asking for myself too. 'Cause I know I can't make it to Chicago that time.
All is well, my brother. Praise on.
All right.
So just simply at the least sign up as a supporter of the alliance, a supporter or member of the alliance, and you'll be kept abreast of everything as it leads up to the event. We'll be sending out some surveys and things to get more perspective on different things that they want to make sure that we cover, questions that we want to get answered. We're going to be dealing with myths and misunderstandings of the movement. We're going to do some focus around our authority, um, and also just focus in on different burdens and barriers to our expression. So yeah, so just again, for people who are not able to make it, for more not able to make it, just make sure that you sign up as at least a supporter, so that you can get in the know, or sign up for the email list so that you can be in the know. Go to Moorish-American Progress.org, click join our mailing list, sign up for the mailing list, and or support, accept, or join, and you'll be kept in the know about everything regarding this roundtable discussion, how to get the link, how to submit questions, everything.
All right, Islam. Sounds good, brother. Gratitude for sharing that info on how to participate. Everybody hearing, you heard that. Make sure you reach out to the brother. That's going to be this September between the 15th and 20th. Hopefully, I'm not leaving anything out. He also said you can participate virtually. So if you can't physically make it down there, so still reach out. There's no excuse really for us not to do this. The brothers are getting things done. They're moving in Chicago, or in Illinois. So let's see what we can do, in all of our areas. When we put our heads together, we can accomplish anything. One well, just in continuance with that, is there anything else that you would like to let us know about before we go ahead and close out, brother?
Yeah, my treasurer would have my hide if I didn't let everyone know that they're able to support. I mean, you can find this on the website also, but if you'd like to support the Alliance financially, um, you can do so by going to our Cash App. That's $ AMAP Fund, AMAP Fund, FUND, AMAP Fund. And you can subscribe again if you, for my Facebook family and watch. I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you'd like to support our efforts, you can go financially. You can go to AMAP Fund FUND, and submit any amount of financial support, and it's greatly appreciated. Again, for everyone's information, any $1 donated to the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress is enough for you to be a supporter for the entire year. And the support is for the entire year, as you'll see on the website. Support is for the entire year. As a supporter, you get access to our educational materials, resources, workshops, events, all these things. There are some events that will come up in the future that will be paid events that members will have free access to, that supporters will have discounted access to, depending on your level of support throughout the year. But generally, as a $1 supporter, just with $1 for the year, you have access to all the free events, all of our workshops and trainings, and other educational resources around the different things that exist for us in moving the line forward as far as it relates to the quality of our lives.
Beautiful. I think we covered everything. Before we get out of here, though, I feel like I'd be doing us an injustice if I didn't share something. So, we do have some music from the brother. I want to share this.
Yeah,
This brother's music is
I just
good.
thought about that too.
Yeah, the brother's got talent. And if you are on Moors in America, we don't just play music just because they're Moors, right? We want to play this stuff that actually sounds good, that you would actually want to play, out loud, and you know, that you would actually vibe to. We want the Moorish-American anthems in here to make you proud to be a Moorish-American. Like, they really sound good. And I just want to share this because, you know, we have influence. Like, people all over the world listen to our music and want to be like us. And, you know, we influence people to do, unfortunately, bad things, right? With a lot of the music that's out there. So imagine the influence that we'll have on ourselves in the world when they see Moorish Americans wearing suits and you know, like the Prophet wearing the suit and tie, the business attire with the fezzes and, you know, the turbans, and the women, you know, dressed up instead of being scandalous and scantily clad, you know, and instead of us talking about killing and selling drugs and all this negative, ignorant, terrible savagery, right? We're talking about uplifting humanity, fallen humanity, and doing it at a high level and sounding good, like on point with it, right? Right? Making people want to be like this, making people want to be upright, like influencing the world in a positive direction. And so, yeah, I'm gonna hit play.
Before you do, if I can, bro, one more thing, because I almost failed to mention, we have a meeting coming up tomorrow for the Illinois chapter. So this is, you know, tomorrow after the Sunday schools, because out from the Sunday school come together as a nation, we have a meeting 5 to 7 p.m. The location will be sent to you after you RSVP. You can RSVP by simply emailing your name and email address to amapnetwork@gmail, amapnetwork@gmail. Also, the registration link will be up in our Facebook group. I'll share it in the Moorish-American Facebook group as well. You can inbox me for it. I'll give it to you, the registration link. Once you've registered, it's just a quick, you know, what your name is and where you are. The address of the meeting will be given to you. It's in Chicago. We are reorganizing the Illinois chapter. There are some more updates to be given as far as Illinois efforts and actions. We'll be situating and or receiving the volunteer nominations of some new officers for the Illinois chapter, as well as we have a political strategy session for the Illinois chapter to, again, consider the furtherance of the efforts for the next legislative season as it arrives. So tomorrow's meeting is really important for anybody who's in Illinois or around Illinois. Please register RSVP, make it to the meeting, and you know, find your place in the affairs of nations and men. Islam, come out from your Sunday school and support and help us guide the nations. Islam. So again, that's tomorrow, August 25th, after Sunday schools from 5 to 7 p.m., the Illinois chapter of the Alliance for Moorish-American Progress. We'll be holding another chapter meeting. Also, I want to just acknowledge too, after you play this song, that I'm gonna have we have a lyric video for this song coming out, because I rap kind of fast. We got a lyric video coming out for this song. It should be out before the conventions, just before the September conventions. The lyric video will be out, and then we got some other music that we're prepared to follow up with in October. So we coming more. It's by the grace of Allah. I know it's been a long time. Y'all waiting me to drop this music. And we coming by the grace. Inshallah. MashaAllah. Allah has ordained it. I appreciate you all deeply and sincerely. May Allah continue to bless you, protect you, and guide you unto salvation.
Islam, brother. Gratitude. We're gonna play this. Moors, everybody, when you hear it, click 1 in the chat just so that we know the audio's playing. We're gonna have to put out the Moorish mixtape just with nothing but bangers, nothing but anthems on there, like top to bottom. It's not gonna be the people on there just because I know them. No, it's just people that have this bringing the fire, bringing the heat. So we're gonna go ahead and play this. Moors, peace and love. Appreciate you all. Thank you for being here. Don't leave. Hang around and make sure you hit like and share.
Definitely hit like and share. Make sure you like and share that song too, by the grace of Allah. Let's share this video far and wide. And make sure the Moors understand.
The love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The Grand Sheiks, we empowered to make laws and establish the customs. So the more signs, temples busting, but we gotta keep it in conjunction. Preserving the holy divine instructions for these and times key. Redeeming our people from mental slavery to see some mind free. To living more abundantly, holy, rev, holding the harmony we proclaim our nationality. and go learn your divine creed. Then it's only but a seed, straight from the heart of a lot of the soil of soul, full equipped with what he needs. Just like every other season, we watch it unfold. Attention to the bend of our inclination in every situation facing our bowl. Left the strain from the upper plains, I was full of data, take our place in these groves. They be like, Joey, what Koran say? Hey, cause we want only what Koran say. Hey, they be like, show me what Koran say. Ay, then I give them ayat after ayat after I get proof. I keep my face in them books, and you in the chapter, the snap of the bass and the hook. So now I'm replacing these hooks with fact after fact. Every track is a debate with a hook. See, I don't debate, so they shook. Them birds in the box get the tweet, and the next get the look. Cause they can't replace what they took, cause they ain't got the answers, they ain't even got the book. Talking about county or cook, the footprint clearly cut, it's not a block of wood. This to get misunderstood, the sum of all of our efforts for the greatest good. Want your divine creed, then Prophet Noble Drew Ali will give you what you need. Your nationality is based on the place of birth and the blood you bleed. Listen for a minute, this serious. I know I'm rocking this beat, but this ain't just a song. No, law governs all events, nothing strange. Let me go on, make it plain. What's your family name? Is it a LeBay? Are you still a slave? Are you in the way? Are you at the table? How are you complaining? Do you have a say, or are you still a second-class citizen? 3/5, 14th Amendment.
All right, Islam. That was a banger, definitely, man. I think we're gonna end out with that too. I just want to thank you. Thank you for the work. Thank you for coming on here, taking the time to explain. We appreciate you. And everybody that's here, also go to the video description. We'll have the link to the brother's music. Make sure you go there, support, follow, subscribe, however you are able to bookmark that so that you can share, bang it at any point in time. Share it with your family and friends. And I appreciate
Available
you
everywhere.
all there. Everywhere, yeah. Take it worldwide.
Amazon, Google Play, you can find it everywhere. YouTube, you can find that song everywhere. Tidal Music, it's everywhere.
That's what's up. So
Spotify,
definitely share it too. Help get it out there. Spread the light. Love you, brother. Peace and love to you.
Brother.
Gratitude for everybody's here. Hit like and share. And on that note, y'all, we are out. Check out also our supporters. And we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, Morris. Peace and love.
Peace, Moors in America. I appreciate you. See y'all again soon.
Every day, billions of searches are conducted online, therefore it is critical that your company stands out to the small percentage of clients who are essential to your business. Our team of local digital marketing consultants and SEO experts is eager to help your company achieve its goals through a consultative approach, top Google rankings, and collaboration with industry experts. Here at Adept Marketing Solutions, we stand for integrity, dedication, ingenuity, and results. We know how to navigate the ever-changing digital landscape and what brands must do to succeed. Visit our website to see what we can do to help you reach your goals.
Care More is a non-profit organization focused on providing goods and services to families and individuals in our underfunded communities in Central Ohio. We have created an online presence to reach members of our Central Ohio communities, as well as local events and meetings to give away supplies and donations throughout the city all year long. Visit our website to learn more and to send a donation.
Hey, really quickly, I forgot to mention, Care More is partnering with our local temple. We having a school supply giveaway. Not tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, Sunday. That's going to be downtown Columbus, Ohio, the public library on Grant Avenue. Make sure you're there. Tell everybody, everybody in Central Ohio, tell everyone you know, we will be giving away school supplies. And on that note, more peace and love. Hit like and share.
Highest quality handmade fezzes. Crafted fez with the finest wool, complete with tassel and leather sweatband. Wear the national headdress of Moorish Americans with pride and respect. 3XL size fez is a comfortable fit for brothers with dreadlocks. Shipping worldwide. Go to moorishfez.com to order.
Don't let your history start at slavery. Join with Moorish Science Temple, a lawfully chartered Islamic organization, and proclaim your nationality while helping us uplift fallen humanity. Founded by American prophet Noble Drew Ali and consistently promoted plans for the betterment of humankind. We are located in Columbus, Ohio. Visit our website www.moorishamericans.com and follow us on social media. We hold live meetings on Zoom every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a call at 614-407-4394 if you would like to join or send donations to help us uplift fallen humanity.
The love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The Grand Sheiks, we empowered to make laws and establish the customs. So the more signs, temples busting, but we gotta keep it in conjunction. Preserving the holy divine instructions for these and times key. Redeeming our people from mental slavery to see states of mind free. To living more abundantly, holy breath, holding the harmony we. Proclaim our nationality, echo learn your divine creed. Then it's only but a seed, straight from the heart of a lot of the soil of soul. Full equipped with what he needs, just like every other season we watch it unfold. Attention to the bend of our inclination. In every situation facing our bones, nothing strange from the upper plains. I was full of data, take our place in these groves. They be like Joey, what Koran say? Hey, cause we want only what Koran say. Hey, they be like, show me what Koran say. Ay, then I give them ayat after ayat after I get proof. I keep my face in them books, and you in the chapter, the snap of the base and the hook. So now I'm replacing these hooks with fact after fact. Every track is debate with a hook. See, I don't debate, so they shook. Them version of boss get the tweet, and the next get the look. Cause they can't replace what they took, cause they ain't got the answers, they ain't even got the book. Talking about county or cook, the footprint clearly cut, it's not a block of wood. Just to get this understood, the sum of all of our efforts for the greatest good. Want your divine creed, then Prophet Noble Drew Ali will give you what you need. Your nationality is based on the place of birth and the blood you bleed. Listen for a minute, this serious. I know I'm rocking this beat, but this ain't just a song. No, law governs all of this. Nothing strange. Let me go and make it plain. What's your family name? Is it a LeBay? Are you still a slave? Are you in the way? Are you at the table? How are you complaining? Do you have a say, or are you still a second-class citizen? 3/5, 14th amendment.